Hi, my name is Lance Howard. I was on a cruise August 3rd, I believe it was. We sailed out of Cape Canaveral, Florida. We went to Coco Cay, then we went to Puerto Rico, and then we went to St. Martin. I gotta tell you, it was the absolute best time. Since then, I have already prepaid through another cruise company, Carnival Cruise, to Jamaica. We also prepaid $200 for $500 credit for towards the next cruise. I purchased that while I was on board the ship with Royal Caribbean. However, they called me a month later to see if I was ready to book the next cruise. However, I wasn't ready. I asked them if they could call me back, but they never did. So a week or so later, I started reaching out to Royal Caribbean, but every single time that I called them, they stated they couldn't find me. They had no record of me at all. They used my name and birthday. They used my Crown and Anchor Society membership number. They couldn't find me. They used my wife's. They used our email addresses. They couldn't find us. And for some reason, if you could believe, my Royal Caribbean app, which I used while I was on board the ship, and we was able to communicate through the app, now shows that I have been on 0 cruises. The irony of me being on a cruise, and it says I'm not ever been on one. The thing about that is, they have decided to screw me out of my $500 credit for the cruise by saying that I didn't attempt to make the reservations. But I did. But every time I called, they couldn't find me. So, could you explain that to me? I don't know. Don't worry. I don't live in a dump. My house is paid for. I'm just a working guy. This is my smoke room outside. But they're acting like they couldn't possibly have made a mistake. Nowhere is it possible that Royal Caribbean made a mistake. Yet, here is my app from Royal Caribbean that says I've never been on a cruise. I have a Royal Caribbean credit card, which I applied for while I was on the ship, and I'm going to be canceling it tomorrow. I had high hopes of being on board a Royal Caribbean cruise 3 or 4 times every year. I had a great time. But while I was